Welcome back to Floss Law. I've been doing a really bad job of keeping up with these videos. Things have been really busy around here, but I want to do a real quick video right now to help out some of you. I have a lot of clients I brought in that are doing wholesaling, they're doing subject to deals, doing things like that. And I had a question yesterday that I thought was interesting that is real easy for me to answer. So this is going to be a quick video, but could be very helpful to many of you. That's about understanding case code. So when you're looking at a property, you might see something recorded or something on the property history regarding a court case that's on there. And essentially the question was, how do I know what I'm dealing with? And that's pretty easy to answer. There's set case codes that when I look at it, I kind of have an idea of what I'm dealing with. I don't know exactly the case, obviously, but can give a general idea of what I'm looking at. So because again, I'm low on time here and I'm trying to do this real quick so I can keep these videos going, and I might try to do more of these shorter videos so it's easier to keep up with doing this. Very high tech here. We have a, we did a little Sharpie on a piece of paper here. So what do we have? We're looking at case code. So this is what you're usually going to have. You're going to have a number, the code, that's what we're going to talk about, and then these numbers after. So the first numbers are easy. The first numbers are the year that the case was filed. And we'll kind of get to that a little bit. This is the code. This is how you know what it is, what courtroom it is. So this is how when you file a case, they know what courtroom it's going to be in. And then you have these numbers after that just designates the number of the case. So, you know, for some reason you were the first person in on January 1st filing a case, you might be 0001 or something like that. If you're in suburban courthouses, you might have a smaller number. When you're dealing with Cook County, obviously you're going to get very large numbers. I just filled in 7777 just because. All right, so what are we dealing with? The first code that is going to be the most common one you're going to see all the time is going to be CH. CH stands for Chancery. The easiest way I can explain what Chancery is when you're not trying to get money, if that makes sense. Chancery is when you're trying to enforce someone to do something or not to do something. So the most common thing that we deal with right now with Chancery is foreclosure. When you think of foreclosure, you probably think of, well, I get calls from, you know, they say they're a debt collector and they're trying to collect the debt. Foreclosure is them trying to take the house. They're really not trying to get the money. They're trying to take the house. So that's why it falls under Chancery. You're taking something from someone or making someone not do something or whatever. So CH is when you're dealing with Chancery. If you're looking at real estate and you see a CH, 95% of the time, you're dealing with a foreclosure case that's on there. And then when we're dealing with a CH, it's also helpful to go back and look at what that year is that it was filed. You know, we're in 2019 right now that I'm making this video. If it's a 2018 case, that's a fairly normal foreclosure case. If for some reason I'm looking and I see that it's a 2017 case, that, you know, that's kind of a long time now because the foreclosure cases are moving a lot quicker. If it's like a 16 or a 15 case, then I'll know that there's something majorly wrong with the foreclosure case, the bank's ability to prove their case, or with the defense of the homeowner. The foreclosure case shouldn't be going that long anymore, so something's up with it. So that's kind of like a red flag if you're evaluating the property, that you know that something's outside of the norm with it. Right now, the foreclosure cases are moving pretty quick, so generally you're going to see a lot of 18, obviously 19 now that we're getting into 2019. P, very simply, is probate. So you're dealing with a probate case. If there's a P case on there, there's something related to a probate case that's on the property. Keep going. B, very simply, bankruptcy. So if there's a B on there, then someone has done something related to a bankruptcy filing on the property. I'm still going to come back and I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'm going to come back and do a whole thing on understanding bankruptcy in real estate because it's really a beneficial thing to know. We'll get that, you know, I promise we're going to keep updating these, we'll get that to a later date. D, someone got divorced. It's important to keep track of that because it doesn't come up often, but when it does come up, it can be problematic for the property because, you know, when you're dealing with someone that's getting a divorce, you know, how the property is treated can be a little complicating as far as trying to sell the property, trying to get the property closed, doing that type of stuff. So know if you see a D on there, you try to get ahead of that so you can make sure that once you get that property, we can try to get a property sold without any issues. What we have next, we have law is next. So there's two main things you need to know. There's law and then there's muni. municipal court, but we call it muni. Um, Law by definition is, I'm looking over my own paper here, law by definition is any case where you're suing someone for money, but the money is a large amount. So for the law division, it's City of Chicago. So I'm based out of Chicago here. When we're talking about the law division, it's anything over 30,000 in the City of Chicago and over 100,000 if you're in any of the suburbs. So it's just that you're dealing with a larger amount of money. So I can't think of offhand any time I've had a law division case on a property. You can deal with it if you're dealing with like a commercial property or industrial property, something where it's large, because there's someone suing someone else for a large amount of money. Something's going on there. Same thing with muni court. So municipal court is obviously anything that's under that dollar amount. Also, muni court is going to deal with evictions, collections. What else can be a muni court? Oh, municipal court can also be building code violations. So if the city or the village or someone suing the homeowner for health and safety, a building code violation, something's wrong with the property needs to get fixed, that's also going to be a muni court. Just so you know, so all these had one letter, and you're thinking, oh, so muni court is MI, and that's a common mistake. That's not an MI, that's an M1. So muni is M. This right after that, that's a 1. Maybe I didn't make it clear enough for you. The reason I did it like that is because that's how it's going to appear on the court filing. So sometimes people get that mistaken. That number behind the M is going to tell you what courthouse you're going to. So M1, you're going to Daly Center, you're going downtown. There's M2, M3, M4, M5, which are the suburban district courts that you might have to go to within Cook County. So when you get any kind of muni case, most of the time you're going to get an M1, and you're just dealing with a Daly Center case, but you can occasionally, especially with evictions and stuff like that, occasionally get M2, M3, M4, M5. It's pretty rare, but it happens that you get them. And just know that if you have one of those cases, that means you're going to one of the suburban district courts. Don't go all the way downtown to Daly, because that's not where your case is being held. COTD, that's the county division. County division is going to come up because COTD is the courtroom that you have to go to when you're petitioning for a tax deed. So if you have a COTD that pops up on a property, that unfortunately means that the tax bill not only hasn't been paid, but it has been paid for so long that they're now trying to perfect the lien from buying those taxes, whoever's been purchasing the taxes, and is trying to obtain the deed to the property by enforcing that tax lien. So if you see a COTD, probably you're looking at anywhere from I've had anywhere from 2 to 4 years of taxes unpaid on a property, and the person that's been paying those taxes now wants the deed to the property. So be very careful if you see that COTD on there. You need to get ahead of that right away and figure out if you still have the right of redemption to be able to pay the taxes off. If the redemption is passed, you could still try to negotiate with the person that bought the taxes. I mean, they're doing it to make money, but now you're going to have to pay a premium to get it because now they have a lien on the property. So you might have to pay more than the actual tax bill to get that tax lien back. And then the last thing, this comes up a lot in the city of Chicago. I do a lot of city of Chicago properties, and I get this question probably once a week. What's a WD? You got a water department case. So your property has a water bill that hasn't been paid for so long that the city of Chicago has recorded a lien to remind you that when you sell this property, you're going to need to pay your water bill. You need that anyway. Anytime you sell a property in the city of Chicago, you have to get a full paid water certificate that shows that the water bill has been paid. But sometimes when it goes for a very long period of time, they feel the need to record that lien on there to kind of remind you that there's going to be a large water bill when you guys try to sell this property. They're kind of putting you on notice. So if you see that WD, not only is there an unpaid water bill, but there's probably a significantly unpaid water bill, because they'll record the lien for a set period of time, and then it's still going to keep accruing after that. So the lien really isn't a payoff. It's just putting you on notice that it's back owed water bill, and then whatever date they recorded it, you still got to add the water from that period till the present date that you're looking at it. So be aware of that. I've had several properties in the last couple of years. Keep in mind this is multifamily, so these are larger buildings. but a couple closings where we had an unpaid water bill in excess of $20,000. I think one had a water bill of $25,000 to be exact. So it could get significant. Don't discount those WD cases because it could really cause issues for you if you're looking at property in foreclosure or maybe judicial sales or something like that. That water bill can get significant. So that's kind of knowing case codes in a nutshell. That's your 15-minute kind of review. So I'll just hold that up there for a second in case you or trying to make any notes. So you have basically your case code, the year it was filed, the code, and then just the number that designates when what order it is in the courtroom that it got filed, and then this number corresponds to whatever courtroom you're in. So when I go in and file a case, obviously I have to let them know what courtroom it's going to be in, and that's how we do it. We designate it by putting these things down. So when you're looking at it, you can look at this and know what you're dealing with. One additional thing I don't think I mentioned, when you are doing the muni cases, and I unfortunately have to deal with a lot of building code violation cases because a lot of my clients buy properties that have been abandoned or foreclosed on or what have you in the city of Chicago. When you're dealing with these muni cases, you can generally figure out pretty quick if it's the building code violation one, because if the plaintiff is the city of Chicago, it's probably going to be that building code violation case. So generally, when you're looking at these muni cases, if it's a private party that's the plaintiff, you have one of these other things where it's a collection or someone suing someone for small claims or an eviction or anything like that. When you're looking at the muni case and the plaintiff is the city of Chicago, probably looking at a building code violation case that's on there. So that's just a little added. I think I skipped over that. So that's just a little added thing. You're almost never going to see this. You'll get this once in a blue moon. Not often. You'll get these. I get these every once in a while. And it's not a problem. It really is not. Some people get freaked out by this. This isn't a problem. You just have to know how to treat it. You have to know how to be prepared for it, which is why I'm going to do the other video on it. Once you understand this, it's not a big deal. It's really not. These can be a big deal. These can definitely be a big deal. I just finally closed out a case and sold the property that was still open from 2012, just because there were so many family issues and these things can get pretty murky. But as some people will tell you, you can make a lot of money on these probate cases too, if you can chase them down. Law, munis, I deal with these almost every day. You're going to get a lot of these, so get comfortable with these munis. COTD, hopefully you don't run into them. Every once in a while you do. Hopefully you don't. These I run into every day. So you should know them, be comfortable with them, know how to treat them. And that's it for today. I'm going to try to cross my fingers, try to keep doing these every day next week. Try to do these shorter videos rather than doing the longer hour-long ones I was doing. And just answer questions. So if you have a question, something you want answered, shoot me an email, leave me a message, and I'd be happy to do a little snippet and answer any questions you guys have. Have a good one.